everybody, my name is Benjamin Bloom, back here at the end of a 3-game week for the Championship predictions video. God, it's been a heavy week. Sunday, Villa, Birmingham. Tuesday, Brantford, Sheffield United. Wednesday, I was at Ipswich, Bristol City. Going to be at Forest, Ipswich tomorrow. And then on Monday, West Brom, Brentford. So it'll be 5 games in 8 days. Yeah, so I'm just about managing to keep up with all this stuff. But being there's no Friday night game this weekend, because obviously it's a 3-game week. Wouldn't have been fair on whoever played midweek. Because there's no Friday night game, a little bit later than normal with the predictions. Top of the league, and first up, Norwich City at home to Rotherham. Norwich are a point clear at the top. They've got 2 home games coming up. Rotherham, then a week off, and then Bolton. By a week off, I mean 7 days. 7 days gap there. They are going to want 6 points from those 2, given where those teams are. They had 6 straight wins on the trot going into their game at Hull on Tuesday. They're going to want the points on the board, especially because, just looked ahead at their fixtures, there's a 7-game run after Christmas. So they go to 2 away games after this couple of home games. And there's a 7-game run where they play 5 out of the current top 7. So if Norwich really want to keep hold of that position, particularly in the top 2, then points on the board now would be good to give them a little bit of breathing room, so people remain chasing, and those games don't turn into these big must-win games. No Leitner on Tuesday, or apparently on Saturday. No Hernandez. That weakens them slightly. Rotherham, they've got Norwich fan Paul Warne in charge. 7 unbeaten, only lost 1 in 10, but due to all those draws, it's only 11 points in those 10 games. That obviously roll out across the season, you're going to come up with probably over 50 points. I don't know the maths, so that will be enough. But I keep saying, not much margin for error. Rotherham do need to get some of these converted into wins. I feel that the 2-2 draw at home to QPR midweek, they'll feel, you know, big chance lost there. 91 minutes to equalise. It goes. We know what to expect. It's going to be the sort of 4-1-4-1 formation, but they have been putting the goals in a bit more now. Rotherham, 2 goals in 3 of the last 4, but those were all during home games. And there is probably the biggest point. If this was Rotherham v Norwich rather than Norwich v Rotherham, I'd give them a chance of getting a point or even a victory there. But I think being it's at Carrow Road, I've got to go with a home win for Norwich. On we go. Second place, Leeds United. So it's Sheffield United versus Leeds. I believe that's the early kickoff on Saturday. This one should be great. It's going to be Wilder with his adventurous 3-5-2, and I'm sure Bielsa will have some mad professor shit to counter-attack it somehow. Leeds moved into 2nd in midweek, back-to-back wins for the first time since August, and they're one of 2 teams potentially on for the 9-point week, the 9.3 game week. Roof and Hernandez backfiring. Bamford to play for the under-23s next week at some point. So I'm expecting Leeds to go into their best period of the season now. If they can top what they did in August, I'm sure they will be pleased, although it was close. Reading getting a penalty and McNulty having his kick saved on 89 minutes in midweek. Sheffield United picked up only their 2nd win in 7 at Brentford this past Tuesday. I was there. Check out the match review video elsewhere on the channel. Duffy and Sharp rested, interestingly there, so expect both of them to start, I would have thought, this game tomorrow. Really hard one to call. I wouldn't be surprised at any result in this one. I think both teams are capable of beating the other. Ooh, will Bielsa get in his own way here, trying to counteract it? That might be the issue. Go on. I'm going to go for a home win. Let's see Sheffield United pull it out. Reading were close, so we'll gamble a bit on that one. We'll go for the lower team to win that, being as it is at Bramall Lane. Third place, Middlesbrough versus Aston Villa at the Riverside. Villa seem to have replaced West Brom as the most fun team to watch. 4-2 and 5-5 in their last 2 games. I'm sure that 5-5 game's going to get brought up over and over again this season. Middlesbrough, on the other hand, are not the most interesting team to watch. But they're 7 points and 5 places higher than Villa, which is the obvious response to that type of criticism. They've squeezed out 4 points already this week from 2 away games. Pulis, he's consistent as anything. Marcus Tavernier, he's only 19. He scored in both of those games, so he's looking good. They have, however, finally slipped into double figures in the goals against Colin Borough. 10 in 19 games. Still impressive. I just, at this current moment in time, can't see Borough managing to shut out Abraham, Grealish, McGinn, Balassi, Koja. I can't see them stopping scoring. So I'm going to go for another off-the-wall prediction. I'm going to go for Borough to lose at home. Away win for Villa. Don't get me wrong, I'm fully ready to be Pulist and Borough to win 1-0. But let's go with the entertainer's view and go for a Villa away win there. In fourth place, West Brom versus Brentford. This will be Monday night, and as I mentioned, I will be there. And West Brom are the other team, along with Leeds, looking at a 9-point week. They impressed me in midweek. I've been so impressed with their counter-attacking and then their gung-ho football earlier in the season. But apply all the cliches to this. Midweek, away, in Wales, wet, windy, and they won with 2 set plays. And a lot of people would say that has the hallmark of a more consistent side. In that, 4-game run when they lost at Hull, I believe they lost. They got hammered at home to Derby. We didn't see any of that. So 3 wins on the bounce after that dodgy 4-game run. They are looking impressive. Brentford are in a hole at the moment. I was there, like I said, on Tuesday. They will stick to this passing philosophy, but it's 6 defeats in 7. And this type of game plan, when it works, looks brilliant, but when it doesn't work, looks like kind of slow and ponderous and too many passes, and the Brentford fans getting a little bit frustrated. I suppose understandable after 6 defeats in 7. I think this is a bad matchup for Brentford as well, because West Brom now seem to be set up to do this beautiful counter-attacking that we know they can do. And I saw firsthand in the game against Ipswich, would have been a week ago today, actually. So I've got to go for a home win here. I'm looking forward to that one. On we go to my team, Ipswich. They are away at 6th place Forest, who were the other side of that ludicrous 5-5 draw, which I think will probably be an outlier. I think Karanka will be very determined to not say, no, we love this entertaining stuff. I think he'll be even more determined to go, right, clean sheet now, please, on Saturday. I think he'll enjoy a 1-0 win if he can get it, obviously. Their finishing was imperious, though. I think 9 shots or something and 5 goals against Villa's 25. Some of those stats are probably completely wrong, but you get the idea of the effect of them. And their 2 form players got nice additions to their numbers. Grabban now has 13 goals in his last 14 appearances, and looking at the minutes on those appearances, it'll be better than a goal a game, because 2 of those were sub-appearances as well. Brilliant from Grabban. He's looking at a very good total this season. Joe Lolly got 4 goals and an assist in this game, puts his total at 6 goals and 6 assists. So 2 players functioning well then. Maybe Lolly's stats distorted a bit by that one mega game. Ipswich disastrously lost what I call the mother of all must-win games there. Complete kamikaze fashion as well, having led twice. And they're starting to get marooned at the bottom. Not looking at all good for Ipswich. One positive, the former Freddie Sears, he has 4 goals in 4 games and scored twice in midweek. So he'll be confident, you would think, as confident as anyone can be playing in that team at the moment. Look, what else can you deduce other than a home win? I predicted Ipswich to win in midweek, so I'm going to ditch that and go to forecasting defeats again and see how that pans out. Certainly, if Ipswich take back anything, they'll be overjoyed. Derby in 7th place, dropped out of the playoffs now, versus Swansea in 11th. Derby on a streaky win-loss win-loss run at the moment, looking to recapture that lovely form they had just before the Villa game, before the international break. They were looking great. Swansea have lost both their games so far this week. Not looking good for them. 3 defeats in 4 also, although hard run of games. Norwich, West Brom and Derby to finish it off. Not the easiest fixture run, but there were 2 home games there. My theory that Derby come unstuck against pragmatic, less free-flowing, more team-shapey type teams did come to fruition again when they lost at Stoke in midweek. But that means Swansea will be a good matchup for them. So I would expect them to have been decent at home as well, only losing to Villa and Leeds. So I'm going to go for a home win for Derby against Swansea. QPR in 9th versus Hull in 23rd. QPR have drawn both their games 2-2 this week, so they've scored 4 goals and only got 2 points to show for it. But they were behind in both, and 78th minute equaliser and a 91st minute equaliser, so maybe a couple of points gained there looking at the context of it all. QPR have been in good form since losing the first 4 games. If you rolled out their points per game, they would be second if you rolled it out over all 19 games. So in very, very nice form. Hull, good point at home against Norwich in the wet and windy Tuesday night game. In the group of 4 teams, all on 17 points there. Form in the last 5 games is good. They've got 8 points there. So you can see a tipping point here for Hull. Can they continue that, or will they now regress back to where they were? I can, however, see QPR being a bit too streetwise with Steve McLaren and being too strong. So I'm going to go for a home win for QPR. Birmingham in 10th versus Preston in 17th. Clash of probably 2 of the better sides in the middle third. I know Preston are down a bit lower, but we all know they've been in really good form after their horrifying first couple of months. Birmingham got the Villa defeat out of their heads pretty quickly. Good midweek away when travelling down to Millwall, winning 2-0. And Preston, like I said, 9 unbeaten. We know what to expect from Birmingham, although there is no hotter there. Although Mahoney can be an effective player, I believe. Did he get both the assists? Villa might check that, but definitely putting numbers on the board there. That might cancel out the lack of Robinson for Preston. Look, neither of these teams have been losing very often, so let's say they're going to cancel each other out and go for Birmingham and Preston to draw at St Andrews or whatever Trillium Trophy, whatever its stadium's called now. Reading in 20th host 12th place Stoke. Stoke, according to Rowett, had their best win of the season over Derby, and they were 10 men for, I think, an hour of that one as well. So moving in the right direction. It's 1 defeat in 10. The issue I've had on here with them is that the progress is pretty slow. Might be leaving it too late. They need to turn draws into wins, although not losing is always a good bonus if you're not going to win, I guess. Reading are scoreless this week, drawing 0-0 at Wigan and then losing 1-0 at Leeds. Obviously, the caveat being that late missed penalty, so I could be saying they were off the back of a good draw at Leeds, but if it didn't happen. I've been to see Reading a few times this season. I can see Stoke being a bit too organised for them and bashing out a clean sheet here and getting an away win. They're unbeaten away in the league since mid-September, Stoke. So I'm going to go for an away win. There, Blackburn versus Sheffield Wednesday. Blackburn in 13th, Wednesday 16th. Bad week for Blackburn. Lost 4-1 at Preston, then 3-1 at Wigan. They're not going to want a 0-point week, but really need to tighten up that defence. 7 goals against in 2 games. Sheffield Wednesday got that really, really important win over Bolton after that really, really bad run. Expecting possibly Lahukai to go a couple of games ago if they'd lost in the Steel City Derby, but they didn't. They drew that. Got another defeat, but then they've got this win, so he's kind of just clinging on there every time it looks a bit desperate. I continually get Blackburn wrong on here. When I consider them solid and having a history of winning from League One last year, they lose, and when I consider them a side that came up from League One, they win. So I don't really know quite what to say, so I'll base it on having seen Sheffield Wednesday a few times and not being too impressed. And I think Dak's been quiet the past couple of games. So let's go for a home win. See if we can get Blackburn right for once. Bristol City in 14th versus Millwall in 21st. Another two teams not in great spots. Obviously, I saw Bristol City at Ipswich in midweek, and that looked possibly like a job-saving 10 minutes when they bunged in those quick 3 goals against that dreadful Ipswich defending there. I'd expect Johnson to look at what happened there, get Eliasson and Kelly down the left and start Jeju up front. That was the key change that won them the game there. I know he's certainly been fishing for the right solution there. Millwall fans probably starting to get a little bit worried now, because ever since last season there's been a sense, oh they'll get back to where they were. Just not happened. 3 defeats in 4, and they're in that group of teams all on 17 points. Leonard will be suspended in the centre of midfield there after his red card, and Millwall's away form is horrible this season. 2 points on the road, only 2 draws, the rest defeats, no victories. So this could be the start of another Lee Johnson streak. He's got the first win. I'm going to back him to get the second win and say home win for Bristol City at home to Millwall. So we're finally down to the last game. Bolton in 23rd versus Wigan in 15th. Wigan have stabilised that awful losing streak. They've got 4 points in the last 2 games, both of them at home this week, which has been a big factor with Wigan. Good at home, bad away. And it's 7 away defeats on the trot. So they've got to be looking at it as, okay, Bolton are in rotten form. Can we reverse this losing streak away from home? Bolton, as I mentioned, really bad at the moment. Propped up by their flying start and the sheer utter ineptitude of Ipswich below them. And the most alarming stat, I was just looking back through the results research in this video, 2 goals in the last 12 games. 2 goals in 12 games. That is horrific. At least Ipswich are scoring some goals, although 6 points behind Bolton there. Not working at all for Bolton here. The stats say Wigan's away record is so bad that they'll lose, and Bolton's record period is so bad that they'll lose. So it's a difficult one to get back. So let's just go on short-term thinking and say that Wigan are having a good week. And I remember the last derby here, Bolton losing at home to Blackburn earlier in the season. So maybe Wigan can snatch a 1-0. Let's go for an away win and more misery for Bolton. Okay, so that concludes all the games coming up this week. The end of a 3-game week. So managers are going to be looking at the total over the week. So maybe some draws would be accepted where they wouldn't normally. Interesting up at the top there. Are West Brom going to come on a charge? If Villa can go to Middlesbrough and win, are they going to come on a charge? Can Norwich keep it up there and hold their position? And at the bottom, those 4 teams on 17 points above hapless old Ipswich at the bottom there. Who's going to break free from that and just shuffle up to join Rotherham a little bit higher? Really looking forward to the games. Like I say, I'll be at 2 of them. Forest, Ipswich and Brentford, West Brom. So look out for the reviews of them. Please give me a thumbs up if you watched the video and managed to last all however many 18 minutes we've done. If you support one of the teams in the Championship or have a view on any of the games, hit me up in the comments. Always appreciate that. If I don't reply, I'm sorry. I get loads of them. I promise I read them all. I've got my phone set to leave them up on the screen. So I promise I read them all, and I do take on board the views of people who see their teams far more frequently than I do, and frankly know more about their teams than I do. I'm an outsider on everyone other than Ipswich, really. If you enjoy the channel, please give me a subscribe. We've been doing really well. Went over the 3,500 that I was looking forward to getting to. So the more subscribers, the better for the channel. Really, really do appreciate everyone who's hit subscribe and who gets involved in what is really a bit of a team effort, because I can't be at all the games at once. Try to get to as many as I can. Follow me on Twitter at Benjamin Bloom. We'll see you for the Ipswich Forest match review. That will be, I don't know, 5:30, 6 tomorrow. Then I'll do a full review on Sunday morning. There'll be the Blue Monday podcast on Sunday night, and then there'll be the review of the West Brom Brentford game on Monday. So loads of content. So please stay tuned on the channel and see you very soon. Thank you for watching.